At the end of the last presentation, we were talking about guidelines for ethical listening. Those are things that we expect of our friends, let alone our classmates. Be courteous and attentive. Now, we're doing all this on video, so there won't be the cues that people have in an audience when your friends roll their eyes or give you some idea that they're not buying what you're selling as a speech. But be courteous and attentive. And in this case, for this class, it means you must comment on all your students' speeches. You must give them feedback. And we have a form that you can fill out and email to each other and to me. Avoid prejudging the speaker. Just because you disagree with a premise, say dangerous dogs, you love pit bulls, the person speaking is going to tell you that pit bulls are dangerous. Don't dismiss that person, or there's an old saying, don't shoot the messenger. The fact is that there's a time to look at such debates and to listen to them. We're having one on climate change right now. And as you've been watching, it's devolving into people who don't buy the current scientific evaluation are called climate change deniers, as if they're stupid and that they don't think things through. Is climate change existing? Probably so, in my opinion, but I'm not a scientist, nor do I play one on TV. But I get to evaluate information as it's presented. Attacking the people and judging them and calling them stupid heads for bringing this to your attention is not an effective communication or effective evaluation. Finally, maintaining a free and open expression of ideas. If you've been watching the news, a number of college commencement speakers have been told to not come by groups who say, these people are bad people and shouldn't be speaking before us. Condoleezza Rice was forced to withdraw her offer to speak at the graduation at Rutgers, which is the State University of New Jersey, because of people who disagreed about the conduct of the Gulf War. Now, that's one's right to protest and one's right to speak their mind is accepted in our society. But sometimes you have to ask yourself, if denying people an opportunity to speak just because you disagree with their politics is enough. And that, as we know, is a pretty interesting continuum, going from, say, Condoleezza Rice to the Dalai Lama out to Adolf Hitler. We do have hate speech. We do have speech that inflames. Our Supreme Court has taken on decisions. Judge Learned Hand's quote about yelling fire in a crowded movie house. These are things that we have to wrestle with when we deal with ethics and public communication. And with this technology, it's not getting easier, it's getting harder. These little devices, one of which I'm pretty sure you own, can do so many things. Some of you may be using them to record your speeches. But technology is not knowledge. Technology certainly isn't wisdom. So use your brains and evaluate what people are saying, not just what somebody told you they read on Yelp. How to become, that brings us to chapter 3 and how to become a better listener. Listening is important. Yeah, well, duh. I mean, it's kind of the big biology part. Listening versus critical thinking. There are 4 causes of poor listening. Not concentrating, listening too hard. That sounds funny, doesn't it? But if you're concentrating intently on every word and gesture somebody is saying, your brain is focusing on things other than the message itself or the meaning of what somebody wants to say. We've had these misunderstandings in our personal life. We react emotionally to what's being told rather than thinking out to why is this person telling us that. Jumping to conclusions, I think, is easy to explain. You listen to the first 10 words of a 50-word paragraph, and you immediately take off in a certain direction, thinking, oh my gosh, this is horrible. And what that person might have been doing is telling you the first bad bit of news to say, well, this could have happened, but it didn't. But you're not listening to that anymore. You're already racing off to your own dark thoughts. And then focusing on delivery and personal appearance. Let's face it. If I came in every day with a grease-stained, dirty shirt, not showered, not shaved, and tried to run the class, many of you would wonder about my competence as an instructor. As it is, this is a bit of a challenge as an online class, because normally public speaking is done in a classroom environment, whereas we're all doing it amongst ourselves privately and sharing our work. So it's more of a lab. So figure out how you can make your speech presentations and make them work for what you want to do. Now, when I teach on the base at McCord Field, generally speaking, everybody in the class is dressed identically. They wear camouflage. There are differences in rank, but that is about all. So you need to listen, and you need to look past some things to see if what the person has to say is really valuable and worth listening to. How to become a better listener. Taking listening seriously, being an active listener, resisting distractions. Don't be diverted by the delivery of the package. Suspend your judgments, focus your listening, and developing and maintain note-taking skills. Again, within Spark Charts, there are study tactics as one of the attachments that I sent to you. It's really good. Learning how to take notes effectively will save you, not just in school, but at work and in life. We can't remember everything. Here's an example. Passwords. How many passwords do you have? Many of you are more technologically advanced than I am. I've given up. I have to write my passwords down on a separate file off my computer that I have to remember to keep near my computer so that when I rotate and update my passwords, I write the darn things down. I can't keep 11 passwords in my head. And I'm not going to use 2 or 3 passwords for the 16 or 18 applications in which I have a password to. But note-taking, it's more than just basic. When we say taking listening seriously and being an active listener, it's just that. You can't just sit passively in a class and ignore the lecture and watch the clock if the message is in the lecture. So many times in classrooms, well, you can always read the notes. I don't know about you. In my line of work, I get PowerPoints. I get, I'm at a meeting and somebody puts up a PowerPoint presentation. If I don't go to the meeting, I get the PowerPoint notes. So I have a bunch of slides. I have somebody else's notes that I didn't write. I've often wondered how much information I'm really gathering. And in my work, I also send PowerPoint presentations to my work clients in my private sector job. And while it proves, A, I can download a set of PowerPoint off the internet, or B, I appeared, but still, it's somebody else's notes. So, being in the moment, listening to people, absorbing the information is important. When we talk about don't being diverted by the delivery of the package, and not to suspend judgments, it's just that. Me in a halter top and ponytails would be distracting and would take away from the presentation. So as you're busily washing that image out of your head, think about that though. There is appropriateness. If you're on your job or representing the Air Force, you show up in uniform. If you're, as a civilian, you're told not to disrespect the organization or the government. If you're a student, you're viewed as an ambassador to the university. So when you make a presentational speech, and you're trying to persuade somebody, everything from what you have to say, how you want to say it, and how you look, all play into that. And it plays into the audience's decision to listen to you. Chapter 4, giving your first speech. Our first speech is the introductory speech. And it can be from 45 seconds to 4 minutes or 5 minutes if you want. And I'm just asking that you do what I do just now. I will actually do the speech for you. Hi, I'm Michael Moran. I have a master's degree in communications from Eastern Washington University. I've been teaching off and on over the last 23 years, and I've taught at a variety of schools. I started out at Spokane Falls and Eastern Washington University when I was in graduate school. I've taught at South Beaches Island Community College, Whitworth University, and now for St. Martin's University through Joint Base Lewis McChord. I'm also a consultant in the private sector. I work in government relations and lobbying. I've been involved in politics for over 30 years, and so my classes often have an emphasis on public affairs, government. It has caused some of my students heartburn, but I really do believe that an informed electorate and informed people make for a better society. I hope to, in this class, working with all of you, get to the main goal of demystifying public speaking. Speech is a skill. Anybody can do this. Doing it well often is a reflection of the intangibles, your commitment, your passion, and also your professionalism. Thank you very much for listening to me, and have a great day. Again, you'll see more as we go down the week.